Let's read this one.
Aeronca C-3. The Aeronca C-3 was a light plane built by the Aeronautical Corporation of America in the United States during the 1930s. Design and development, edit. Its design was derived from the Aeronca C-2. Introduced in 1931, it featured room for a passenger seated next to the pilot. Powered by a new 36 HP, 27 kilowatts, Aeronca E113 engine, the seating configuration made flight training much easier, and many Aeronca owners often took to the skies with only 5 hours of instruction, largely because of the C-3's predictable flying characteristics. Both the C-2 and C-3 are often described as powered gliders because of their gliding ability and gentle landing speeds. The C-3's distinctive razorback design was drastically altered in 1935 with the appearance of the round-back C-3 Master. Retaining the tubular fuselage frame construction, the C-3 Master featured a smaller vertical stabilizer and rudder with a filled-out fuselage shape that created the new round-back appearance and improved the airflow over the tail. It featured an enclosed cabin with a proper door. Brakes and wing lights still cost extra, and a revised undercarriage dispensing with external struts in favor of a neater arrangement largely hidden in the fuselage. The 1935 C-3 Master was priced at only $1,895, just a few $100 more than the primitive C-2 of 1930. The low price generated significant sales. 128 C-3 Masters were built in 1935 alone, of 430 C-3s built in all, and the 500th Aeronca aircraft also rolled off the assembly line that same year. A strengthened version of the C-3 with fabric-covered ailerons, instead of metal, designated the Aeronca 100, was built in England under license by Light Aircraft Limited, operating as Aeronautical Corporation of Great Britain Limited, sometimes called Aeronco, and marketed by its associated company Aircraft Exchange and Mart. It was powered by a modified Aeronca E113C engine built by J. A. Prestwich and Company and called the Jap J99, and this led to the aircraft being marketed as the Aeronca Jap. The expected sales never materialized. Only 24 British-built aircraft were manufactured before production was halted. The aircraft could be fitted with floats, and those so equipped were sometimes designated PC-3, with the P standing for pontoon. Production of the C-3 was halted in 1937 when the aircraft no longer met new U.S. government standards for airworthiness. Many of the C-3's peculiarities are strictly external wire-braced wing with no wing struts directly connecting the wing panels with the fuselage, extensive fabric construction, single ignition engine, and lack of an airspeed indicator were no longer permitted. Fortunately for the legion of Aeronca owners, a grandfather clause in the federal regulations allowed their airplanes to continue flying, although they could no longer be manufactured. Variants, edit. C-3. Production variant, early versions of which were built as the C-2 Collegian. C-3 Master. Improved variant. Aeronca 100. British-built variant powered by an Aeronca Jap J99, a license-built Aeronca E113C, 21 built. Aeronca 300. Improved British variant of the Aeronca 100, 1 built. E700. British variant with wider fuselage and 2 doors, 2 built. Surviving aircraft, edit. 125 C-3N11293 on display at the Western North Carolina Air Museum in Hendersonville, North Carolina. 156 C-3N11422 airworthy with Newhouse Flying Service, Fredericksburg, Texas. 3 a 164 C3N11494 on display at the Wings of History Museum in San Martin, California. 4 a 173 C3 Collegian N12407 airworthy with Jim Hammond of Yellow Springs, Ohio. First owned for 34 years by Jean Roche, the originator of the C2, who used it for several radical experiments. 5 a 189 C3N12423 airworthy at the Western Antique Aeroplane and Automobile Museum in Hood River, Oregon. It is a float plane and was built in 1931. 6 a 194 C3 CFAQP at the Reynolds Alberta Museum in Wetaskiwine, Alberta. It was built in 1931. 7 a 210 C3N12496 deregistered as of August 2023, previously with Jimmy Leeward at Leeward Air Ranch, Ocala, Florida. Built in 1932. 8 a 215 C3N13000 airworthy at the Western Antique Aeroplane and Automobile Museum in Hood River, Oregon. It was built in 1932. 9 a 236 C3 Master N13021 airworthy with Jim Hammond of Yellow Springs, Ohio. Fitted with a 65 HP, 48 kilowatts, Continental 40 engine. 10 a 246 PC3N13082 airworthy at the Eaglesmere Air Museum in Eaglesmere, Pennsylvania. 11 a 258 C3N13094 on static display at the San Diego Air and Space Museum in San Diego, California. 12 a 288 C3N13554 is registered to a private owner in Montana. 13. A 291 C3N13557 on static display at the Florida Air Museum in Lakeland, Florida. 14 a 403 C3 Collegian N14096 airworthy with a private owner in Wilson, Louisiana. 15 a 516 C3 Master N14630 on static display at the TAM Museum, ex-Museações de Umsenho, Wings of a Dream Museum, São Carlos, Brazil. 16 a 571 C3 Master Jupiter registered to a private owner in Bridge of Weir, Renfrewshire, Scotland. 17 a 600 C3 Master GADYS airworthy with Paula Glidden in Gothland, North Yorkshire. 18 a 603 C3 Master Zoom FRL airworthy with John Ilsley in its original livery as GAAC. It was flown to South Africa from England in 1936. 19 a 610 C3 Master GAEFT airworthy with Nicholas Chittenden in Lostwithiel, Cornwall, UK. This aircraft featured in the 1986 BBC TV film Flying for Fun, an adaptation of the eponymous 1936 book by Major H.J. Parham. 20 a 614 C3 Master Float Plane NC15287 on display, wrongly marked NC12587, at the Yanks Air Museum in Chino, California. 21 a 638 C3 GAESB registered to a private owner in Lymington, Hampshire, UK. 22 a 668 C3 NC16291 airworthy at the EAA Air Venture Museum in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. 23 a 673 C3 BN16529 airworthy at the Port Townsend Aero Museum in Port Townsend, Washington. It was built in 1936. 24 a 695 C3 N16553 displayed in the terminal building at Lunken Airport in Cincinnati, Ohio. 25 a 717 C3 N17404 airworthy at the Golden Age Air Museum in Bethel, Pennsylvania. 26. A 730 C-3N17419 airworthy at the Frasca Air Museum in Urbana, Illinois. 27 A 734 C-3GADR airworthy at Brayton Aerodrome, Yorkshire, UK. 28 A 754 C-3N17447 airworthy at Cole Palin's Old Rhinebeck Aerodrome in Red Hook, New York. 29 AB105 Aeronca 100 ZKAMW airworthy with the Wingnut Syndicate in Warkworth, Auckland. 30 AB110 Aeronca 100 GATG under restoration in Somerset, UK. 31 AB114 Aeronca 100 GAEVS airworthy at Brayton Aerodrome, Yorkshire, UK. 32 526 C-3N14640 in storage at the Shannon Air Museum in Fredericksburg, Virginia. 33 623 C-3N15295 airworthy at the Golden Wings Flying Museum in Blaine, Minnesota. 34 unknown ID C-3 described as a basket case at the Aeronca Museum in Brighton, Michigan. Specifications, C-3, edit. Data from General characteristics. 1 crew, 1. 2 capacity, 1 passenger. 3 length, 20 feet 0 in, 6.1 m. 4 wingspan, 36 feet 0 in, 10.98 m. 5 height, 7 feet 10 in, 2.39 m. 6 wing area, 142.2 square feet, 13.2 m. 7 empty weight, 569 pound, 258 kilograms. 8 gross weight, 1005 pound, 456 kilograms. 9 power plant, 1 Aeronca E113C horizontally opposed 2-cylinder piston engine, 36 HP, 27 kilowatts. Performance. 1 maximum speed, 95 miles per hour, 152 kilometers per hour, 83 kn. 2 range, 200 mi, 322 kilometers, 117 mi. 3 service ceiling, 12,000 feet, 3,659 m. See also, edit. Aircraft of comparable role, configuration, and era. 1 Welshau 5M. 2 Stuart headwind. 3 Ultraviolet Pelican. References, edit.